This is the Channel 5 News at 10 o'clock. Tonight, Holden in crisis. Jobs lost, factory closures. How did it all go so wrong for this iconic Australian brand? Live from the Gold Coast, this is the Channel 5 News at 10 o'clock.
Good evening, and welcome to the 10 o'clock news. My name is Jack Hanna, and today we have a special report on the economies of scale and how it affects the Australian car industry. Now, to start off, we'll move to Seb in the field, who's with one of the Holden workers who's just been released from his job down in Adelaide. Seb.
Thanks, Jack. I'm here with Tom Jenkins. He used to work at Holden, and they have chosen him as a representative to speak out for all of the workers of Holden that have been just sacked off and have no job now. Welcome, Tom. We just wanted to see some of your opinions, some of your comments about everything that's happening. What is your opinion about it? About this whole situation about Holden closing and going offshore? What do you think about this?
Mate, I don't even. One day I was in the factory, painting the black on the tyres for all the new Commodores, and your mate's going to buy one next week. And then next minute, I have a job. Sorry, I nearly swore then on camera. I'm not allowed to say that. Anyway, I don't know how I'm going to feed my family. They've got 16 kids at home. I buy 2 cartons of BB a week. I'm going to have to cut down to 1. This is just ridiculous. This is the worst time. Worst time for this to happen, mate.
Yeah, I get that. A lot of researchers and industry specialists have told us that this is because of economies of scale, some type of problem because of costs and production levels. Do you know what economies of scales are? Maybe you can help us with this.
Mate, I left school at grade 10. I passed grade 10. I've never heard that term in my life. What is economies of scale, mate?
Well, I guess we're going to need some help from you, Jack, now. Do you have any comments yourself from some content that you have? What are economies of scale?
So Seb, to answer your question, what's going to happen is we're going to pass the Bond University academic scholar, Mike, who's out the front of the business faculty at Bond University. Mike, can you help us with this question?
Thanks, Jack. Let me give you economies of scale in basic terms. A company seeks an advantage when they produce more of something.
So basically it's like saying the more you produce, the cheaper the goods get.
Exactly. Look at it this way. Everything has a cost. The Australian car market is very expensive. It costs a lot of money to make everything. Australian costs are expensive compared to that on the world scale.
So were we as an industry basically producing too little cars?
Exactly. Look at the Australian car market. Everything has a cost. Australia produces a very small number of cars compared to that on the world scale. It's high production costs, high fixed costs, and not very efficient compared to the world scale. However, if we can increase the levels of efficiency, we can reduce the price of the cars. Unfortunately, Australia, that's very hard to do.
So, in essence, is this truly the reason why the Australian car industry failed?
Right again, Jack. Factors like cost of wages, cost of production, importing goods, the high Australian dollar, and all the other things that Australia needs to do to keep a car factory working is just not there. We don't produce enough cars, and as I said before, with the high Australian dollar, we can't sell our cars on the international market. What we need to do, and what Holden is doing, is they're taking their car production offshore where they can get economies of scale. They've got factories already that can produce lots more cars more efficiently, a lot cheaper, because they've got inputs that are cheaper than ours. Okay, so it's much easier for them to produce an extra 15,000 cars that the Australian market consumes than it is for the Australian market to try and produce an extra 100,000 cars without doing major work to our factories and industries here. We're just too expensive. The Australian dollar is too high. It's not feasible to produce cars in Australia. Economies of scale, they have to take it offshore. It makes sense, and hopefully this explains to your worker what economy of scales means. Okay?
Mike, thanks so much for coming on to the show. Seb, I hope that answers all your questions. I'll pass back to you and see how the work is going.
Thank you, Jax, for those comments. Well, now, Tom, we've got the explanation from Mike. Economies of scale are just advantages that we get for producing a lot of just a certain good or certain service, because we can reduce costs, become more efficient. So with this explanation, what do you think Holden could have done differently to prevent this from actually happening?
Okay, so Mike said that we need to produce more, right?
Yeah.
Hire more people, they produce more cars, more people buy the cars. Like I passed grade 10 and I can come up with that. Seriously, Holden, the guy who gets paid about $1 million a year, he can't even come up with that. Come on.
What can you tell us about some of the comments that your co-workers are saying about this? Like, what did you feel? How are they getting affected by this?
Well, mate, I can't say most of the comments on camera. I will say this though, they're not happy. They're not happy at Holden. They're not happy at Tony Abbott. He just sits up there in Parliament House in Canberra. He doesn't give us stuff. He had the opportunity to help us, give us some more money. He said nah. So I blame Tony Abbott for me losing my job. I want you, Tony Abbott, to get me another job, mate. All my co-workers.
Well, you heard it first here, guys. Tom Jenkins, representing workers from Holden, wants Tony Abbott to put some pressure and to get stuff done. Thank you, Jack. I'll get it back to you.
Tony Abbott, come for me.
So that's our special report on economies of scale. Coming up next, Kim Kardashian has broken the internet. What has she done? Find out after the break.
You don't sing, you don't dance, you don't have any, forgive me, any talent.